Hey, what's up guys? Will's Garage here. My M5 is due for a rear brake pad change, so I'm going to be replacing it in this video. If you're wondering, my car has about 48,000 miles on it, and I'm pretty sure the brakes have not been replaced before. Also, the front brake pads have tons of life on it remaining, so it doesn't need to be replaced yet. The rear brake pad replacement on the M5 is just like most cars, except it has an electronic rear brake, which you'll have to put into service mode in order to remove the caliper. You can do that by using an OBD app such as Carly if you have an iPhone, or in my case, I'm going to be using BeamerLink on my Android device. So first you can go ahead and plug in your OBD adapter and turn on your ignition to position 1 and hit connect on your app. Once you get to the main menu, select parking brake, and before you activate service mode, make sure your parking brake is released. Once that's done, select activate service mode. Now you can proceed to remove the caliper by removing 2 caliper bolts, and this is what the top one looks like. You'll need a 17mm wrench to hold the guide in place, while you use a 13mm socket to remove the caliper bolt. Now you can slide the caliper off and set it in a safe position where the brake line isn't stressed. And remove the brake pads. Also remove the retainer clips and clean all the contact points. The pads I purchased, which are Akebono ceramic pads, came with new retainer clips, so I went ahead and used those, but if yours didn't come with it, you'd probably want to clean the old clips before reusing them. Also, I purchased new rotors intending on replacing them, but when I measured the remaining thickness of the old ones, there was a decent amount of life left. The rear rotors, when new, are 24mm thick and are required to be replaced at 22.4, and mine were around 23.2, which is still a decent amount of life left, so I decided not to replace them. Next, you can go ahead and install your new brake pads and compress the caliper piston. Here I'm using a C-clamp because I couldn't find my brake pad spreader tool. If you're using a C-clamp like I am here, be careful not to damage the plastic electronic brake casing shown here. Now you can go ahead and slide the caliper back on and reinstall the 2 caliper bolts. Once you're done, you can move on to the passenger side, which is the exact same procedure except that it has a brake pad sensor. You can use needle nose pliers to remove it before removing the caliper. I ended up damaging my sensor here, as you can see, but I didn't care because I planned on replacing it anyway. So if you're planning on reusing yours, just be careful not to break the wire from it. Alright, the parking brake sensor, as you can see, is this wire right here. This one right here. It routes all the way around up into this box right here. So we're going to open this box. Ooh, got a bunch of dirt in here. Sorry I couldn't show removing this thing because I had to use two hands, but basically you just squeeze on this piece right here and pull this out. Comes right out. And now you just need to dislodge the wire from where it's being held in. The old wire. Alright. Let's just reinstall and reseat a new wire. Alright, so the rear braking sensor has a few mounting points. After you connect it to the box here, there's a mounting point on the chassis, another one right here, another one here, and then there's two on the caliper, one here, and then one up in the front. Then of course you have the sensor right here that goes into the brake pad. Alright, so to put the sensor back into the pad, I just went ahead and put the caliper with the pads on first. Once you have that ready, the sensor wire would be just hanging right here. So you would just stick it in here. And initially there's gonna be some resistance. What I did was I just took some needle nose pliers and applied pressure on the edges and just pushed it in. And then now the sensor is seated. That's pretty much all you have to do. Alright, so once you have the pads on both sides installed, don't forget to deactivate service mode. Then proceed to reapply the electronic brake. You'll hear it activate like this. To reset the rear brake service light, set your ignition to position 2 and hold the cluster button until the service menu pops up. From here you can cycle to the rear brakes, press and hold the cluster button again, and it'll ask if you want to reset, press and hold again until it finishes resetting, and you're done. And that's it, guys. Hope you found that helpful. If you did, please like and subscribe. See you guys in the next one.